One thing I want to get across before the start of the video is that you guys have to understand that all this is mindset, bro. Like I spoken to a couple of you guys. Don't overthink it. Trust me. Trust me, like don't overthink it. I know it can be difficult when you don't know. And I've been in that situation before, because for those of you who have spoken to me already, like you understand that I was not born in a rich family. I did not have family members in the real estate industry. Literally 4 months ago, what I just showed you right now, I was living in a fucking trailer. And now I'm progressing slowly and surely, making my way to the top. You know, hopefully this resonates with somebody. Hopefully what I'm going to show you will help you. For those of you trying to get your first deal, this is something that I wish I saw before. Because honestly, like when I first started, people were just telling me to do bandit signs. Like literally, this is game right here. This is so much money that I invested in, like in just private training, masterminds. And I'm continuing to learn. Like I'm learning as I go, and you guys are watching this in real time. Like I always say, like I'm not making $1 million a month, you know, the type of person that is making like 500,000, like what you see on Instagram, but I'm getting there. And I'm doing my best to get there, because at this point in my life, like I'm tired of being just mediocre. And for some of you, you think like $100,000 is a lot, but like you start talking to a lot of people, your mindset starts shifting. As you continuously progress, your identity starts to shift. You recreate yourself, and I'm recreating myself now, where I'm trying to put people on, and hopefully you guys, you know, get a lot from this. One piece of advice I could give you if you're starting off or just at the beginning is it's all mindset, bro. Like literally, and this might be horrible advice, so but for me, honestly, like I just don't care anymore. I'm doing whatever it takes to win. Like I'm at that level. Like I just don't give. I give zero fucks, and whatever happens happens. But for me, life is a game. I just want to see how far I can go. You have to understand that there's people out there that have this type of mindset, that they're willing to not just outwork you, but do whatever it takes to beat you. In this industry and any other industry, there's sharks out there, and you have to have the mentality. Like understand, like how can I shift my mindset, my identity, where I am elite. I want to be elite. I want to win. And you know, before watching this video, I just want you guys to also take note of that, because mindset plays a major part. It's not so much about just the logistical side of things, but it's also about, and it might sound fucking corny, but it's also about the spiritual side of things, and understanding that whatever you do, like you're gonna win. Hey, what's up guys? So today what I'm basically gonna talk about is how I'm going to be making $100,000 again in real estate in Q4. For those that don't know me, I was able to make $100,000 or over $100,000 in the month of August of this year in 2025. And literally 4 months ago, I was living in a trailer and it's like sleeping on the floor. And so it's crazy. I mean, you guys are seeing me grow like in real time. And at this point in my life, I'm trying to make money. Like money enough to not just buy investment properties, but at the same time, I'm trying to do enough deals where I get to enjoy life, you know, go on trips, have other properties where I can live in, right? I'm like, I know some people think it's bad to say, but I want the cars now. I want to live in the mega mansions. I want all this. And a lot of people might say it's materialistic, but I'm honestly at a point in my life where like I'm doing whatever it takes to just make more money. And you guys are seeing the journey. And I'm just putting game for everyone who has been asking me on TikTok, who's been hitting me up on Instagram. And I just kind of want to show you guys exactly like what I'm trying to do right now. So the hard truth is, honestly, and just being real with like everybody, I've heard it before, and even I've said it, I feel like wholesaling is dead. It's not the same as it once was back in, you know, 2020 to 21. And the reason for that is because before, when you started like back in 2020, 21, like during the bug, like literally that was where you could make an offer. You didn't really have to have any skills. People were just ready to sell. But the reason for the shift is because after 2021, things just started getting a little bit harder. What we call it is like, it was basically the perfect storm against wholesaling. You know, listings were down like 40% in some regions versus pre-pandemic levels. On top of that, you had to deal with higher competition, which meant margins were being squeezed. Even with the mortgage rates jumping as high as it was, I mean, buyers were getting priced out and sellers were basically locking in their low rates. It didn't make sense for a homeowner to sell when it was low, like at 3% interest. When you were talking about 3% interest, a lot of people were refinancing. Other people were buying houses. It didn't make sense for anybody to sell because of rates being so high. Like, even if you sold it, like, what would you buy? And it wouldn't make sense to buy something else because the rates were just so damn high. And that's what has been happening since even now, like early 2025. And even in 2023, it was record low regarding home sales. It was the slowest year for existing home sales in nearly 30 years. And obviously you had the housing shortage, and even in early 2025, inventory were still below healthy levels. So basically what it meant is that since all this was squeezing spreads, it slowed deal flow and made scaling extremely difficult. You literally were forced to have a system in place. You were literally forced to be skilled in every aspect. You literally had to treat wholesaling as a business, and it is a business. If you're starting off, like, don't be like me who was just treating it like a side gig. Like, this is an actual business, and you really have to think about the logistical side of things, where it's not just like, oh, gotta make a couple offers, let me get a deal and I'm set. Now we're in a new era of deal making where wholesaling alone won't cut it anymore. And that's what I feel like. I feel like the future belongs to investors who have multiple tool belts. So that can mean like creative financing, novation, retail, JV partnerships, fix and flip. It's basically you're trying to build now a predictable engine where you know when your next deal is coming instead of guessing. And that's something that I struggled with personally before, and something that I'm learning as of now. How am I going to make $100,000 again, right? What am I personally going to do in order to make $100,000 again? Wholesaling, I say, is never really going to die off. So one thing I'm personally doing right now is I'm still focusing on wholesaling. I honestly feel like wholesaling is making a comeback, but with a little bit of a twist. But I feel like novation is literally like the one key thing you guys should definitely learn, especially for beginners. Like when I first started off, like novation really didn't exist, or the whole term didn't exist. Now everybody is doing novations. So if you're starting off or you're not doing novations and you're doing a couple of deals, you literally can make a shitload of money, especially if you're like a one-man show. Like just doing these two, like you can make good money if you get a good deal. Even one thing I'm personally doing is I'm even doing an agent referral program where I'm working with brokers and real estate agents. Like I'm trying to network with a lot of agents and teams where they can give me like 1%, right? 1% of the deal. And once it closes, you're talking about like an extra like 2 to 5K. And it may not seem like a lot for a lot of people, but if you do it enough times, right? Like imagine doing 10 deals, just getting like a referral fee or getting like 1% of that. You're talking about like a good 20 to 50K extra. So this is something even I'm working on right now. Actually, this month, I'm going to be making $8,500 just because I basically referred 2 deals to an agent. So it's like crazy. Like it's crazy to me. And it's just something that like I'm noticing as of now, and I'm going to be working on it. And then this is a little bit more for the experienced wholesalers. Fix and flip, I feel like is where the money is made, and I can definitely make another video on top of that. I would just say like these are the top 4 things that I'm working on right now. And I just honestly feel like the market is making a comeback. 2025 is playing out to be like a limbo year. Rates are still relatively high, buyers are holding back, inventory is creeping up, but there's not enough to really shift the balance. But when we peak into 2026, especially when the Fed is cutting the rates, right? I think of them making this video, I think they're thinking of like cutting rates like 2 times more. Like you're talking about more opportunities, people going into the market trying to sell their houses, buyers getting back into the market. Even the data, like this is just something I just pulled. Like active listings were up 20.9% year over year as of August 2025, basically meaning more homes equals more chances to find motivated sellers or mispriced properties to wholesale. There's also significant share of price cuts, so nearly 1 in 5 homes cut asking prices in September 2025. People aren't listing their properties at relatively realistic prices, meaning that there's more motivation in place. This is when there's significant price cuts, that means the market may steadily be balancing itself out. And there's even delisting increasing increases. Many sellers are pulling homes off the market after failing to get their desired price, that the market is correcting itself. So the gap between expectations and reality creates opportunities for wholesalers to offer alternate solutions. This is where you can come in and do novations, right? Or maybe you can come in, and what I'm trying to do is like a realtor referral program where you're getting the seller back on board and listing it. But if you don't have a license, you can just basically refer it out to a realtor, and then they can give you like a fee or maybe 1% of the deal, once it closes. Higher interest rates, tight credit, affordability challenges are keeping retail buyers sidelined, especially when there's talks about, the Fed cutting rates below 6% or as low as 6%. A lot of people, especially retail buyers, they're not really trying to go into the market in Q4. But if you're able to step in with a system and start, doing deals now within October, November, December, even the first quarter of 2026, like if you have a system in place, you literally can make a killing out of it because you're starting off where most people aren't even thinking about starting at all. Mortgage rates are expected to dip in 2025, so locking in deals now could position wholesalers to resell faster as buying activity rebounds. Buyers are moving towards smaller, more affordable metros in 2025, so the less saturated markets are opening new lanes for wholesalers to operate with less competition. Wholesaling is still considered one of the best entry points in 2025 due to low capital requirements. Heading into 2026, things are looking a little bit better. Rates are projected to dip below 6%. Now, I'm not sure if that is actually possible, but if it is, sales could climb nearly 10% and inventory is essentially going to be loosening up. So for wholesalers, that basically means that there's going to be more deals to source, more buyers to exit to, and essentially better margins. And me personally, I don't think we'll ever have something like 2020 in a long time. But there definitely is a next window that's opening up. And if you're ready, like if you're able to get your systems in place, your systems dialed in, and your skills dialed in as well, and your buyers in place, like I feel like a lot of people will benefit. And basically this is just a quick summary why I feel wholesaling is coming back in 2025. Fed is expected to start cutting rates, meaning the market is going to steadily start correcting itself, and more buyers and sellers are going to wake up, creating more opportunities. Rising inventory and price reductions basically means more inventory, more motivated sellers. If you're in these like smaller affordable markets, and I'm seeing like a lot of people go into other like smaller markets where they're actually doing deals. And then for all of you who have been following me on TikTok or hit me up on Instagram, I know you guys are asking me like, okay, like what are you doing now? Like what is it that you suggest that I should be doing? And I just honestly feel like this is basically personally what I'm doing. Obviously, like I'm in a different stage than other people, and other people might be doing more than me, less than me. You can take it for what it is. And the first thing I'm doing right now is I'm upgrading my CRM. And I don't see a lot of people talk about this, but I feel like a CRM is the most important thing. It's basically, the CRM is basically the core product of your whole business. Like that's where you're going to be putting all your leads. That's where all your teammates are going to be following up leads in there. I know a lot of people always talk about like free CRMs. You're obviously going to get deals, but I feel like if you started off, like the one thing I would say is like, you get a good CRM, because you got to understand that wholesaling has been here for a while now. And if you're really trying to compete with people, don't be like me, who I was literally using spreadsheets for like 1 year. I didn't make any money at all. But if I could go back, I would literally, I would just find like a good CRM. You have like Follow Up Boss, Left Main, Salesforce, RE Simply, the one I'm using. There's so many out there, but you want to find one that is really good. And like a free CRM honestly won't do it for you. You need to find something that has like advanced filters, right? Response timers, KPI dashboards. For me, RE Simply is the one I'm going to right now. I was using another free CRM, but I'm just shifting. I'm literally exporting all my leads and putting it in there. I know Go High Level is nice too. You may have to like play around with it, but there is definitely other CRMs where they have automations in place, right? Drip campaigns, direct mail campaigns. They have KPI dashboards for tracking and even AI triggers. The CRM is basically the heartbeat of scaling, so you never lose a lead. And one thing I'm noticing is that a lot of people don't really follow up with leads. That's what a CRM is basically used for. Oh, a lot of my deals are coming from follow-ups. This year alone, I closed on one deal. I basically made like $40,000, and that was a deal that I basically got in contact with 2 years ago. Like a CRM, honestly, like I just feel like there's more value in getting a paid CRM. And there's different types of CRMs out there. but I would really look into it. This is basically like what Ari Simply looks like. Like you can send like an SMS, you can make a call within the app. You don't need like another external app. They have like open indicators when someone responds and it's been like 4 hours. Like it'll literally show you like, oh, you have 5 new leads you have to talk to. You know, you're able to track the campaign, the lead source, you're able to put in notes here, you're basically able to do the deal analysis, track when the last offer that you made. It's nice, you know, you want something like this, something that where you can filter it down for follow-up, seller appointments, you know, every stage of where the lead is. You don't want to be going back and forth with like spreadsheets. It drains a lot of your energy. And even if you're super skilled, right, at being organized and following up, and you're like, even with sales, like I always talk about sales and I'll get into that next, but even if you're like a great salesperson, you're awesome on the phone, the best way to put it is, like you can be like, let's say like the #1 ranked race driver, right? And you can just be like a newbie. But if you're in the right vehicle, like the Bugatti's always going to beat the Honda Civic, no matter what. That's the best way to put it. And that's the best way my mentor told me. Like if you're in the right vehicle, you're always going to win. And even if you have all the skill sets and all the systems in place, but if you are in a trashy vehicle, I mean, you're always going to lose to the dude who has the best car, because it's always going to be fast. It was built to be fast. You want to have a CRM that's built to last, to scale, to perform. So that's just like one thing I'm doing right now. Like I'm shifting all my leads into Ari Simply. I like I've been saying it for my past videos, sales, man. That's something I've learned this year. It took me literally like 4 to 5 years to finally understand that sales is key. And if you suck on the phone, it doesn't matter what you do or how many leads you get, you're not going to close a deal. You got to be a beast on the phone. You have to be so good that, and this is something I'm learning and focusing on now. Like there's this one guy that I've been talking to. Like this dude closes, like he closes almost like 15, 20, like a 20% close rate. I was like, holy shit. Like how the hell do you do that? Because I don't even do that. Like I'm an ass. Like it made me realize like I suck. Like, and I think I was pretty good on sales, but it made me realize like my team isn't as good as it should be. When you're really good on the phone and you have those skill sets, you're able to close deals within weeks instead of months or even a year. That's what separates like the winners from the amateurs. And if you're starting off, the best way I would always see is to do your best to make as many calls as you can. Like do 150 to 200 dials every single day. Like not even dials, like 150 to 200 calls every single day, like actual calls. Like you should be aiming for like at least like 100 minutes of talk time. That's just something I would really suggest. I know a lot of you hit me up telling me like, oh, what books would you read? I really don't know like what the best thing would be for you. But personally for me, like what I found was very helpful was like reading up on like Jeremy Minor. You know, he has the NAPQ style, like the type of framework when it comes to speaking with people. With real estate, with wholesaling is a little bit different because his take is more like B2B. Like it helps more like for high ticket sales or like info products in a sense. You can take a lot of value from him because the way his tonality is or the way he frames like certain questions or certain statements, I learned a lot from him. And if you can kind of incorporate that and mix that with wholesaling real estate, like your own script, like that will really help a lot. I would say Jordan Belfort's straight line system has helped me out like tremendously, you know, understanding like what the main goal is for every call and then never split the difference is something that I would feel like I think I should read this again because this was probably my first read and it was really good. So there's a lot out there, but I would just say like really like focus on sales. And there's a lot of like YouTube videos, you know, books that you can read up on that would really help you. Like sales is something you learn. Sales is something you learn through implementation. It's also a science behind it. So I would just say like focus on sales, man. Really do. You know, the third one, I would say AI. Try to implement AI into your business, into wholesaling. Like so many companies aren't using it. And I feel like real estate is so old school. I don't know why they don't use it. And I see other companies are trying to get into it, but they just don't know how to implement it. What I'm doing is, and what you've seen before, is I'm using AI SMS, where literally I have AI conversing with these sellers and they're basically booking appointments for me on autopilot. Like I don't even have to like text them back and forth. They're able to essentially understand the intention of sellers. And I can even show you guys Here's like a prime example, like a seller. Basically, this is like the first message. It'll give a follow-up message. You don't have to like, the cool thing is like with AI, you don't have to like export the lead and push it back in. If it doesn't get a response, it'll literally follow back. And then if the seller says it's not for sale, then it's like, I'll give an auto response and then I'll say not interested. I'll book it for not interested. So you save so much time. Like you don't have to filter leads anymore. Literally AI is basically filtering these leads for you on autopilot. Even for this, like this person, AI basically sent a message. They responded okay. AI basically is basically asking the 4 pillars. So it's like, oh, you know, how would you describe the condition of the property? Needs work or move-in ready. He says move-in ready. I got it. Thanks. Everything made sense. How soon would you like to sell? 2 months. Thanks for sharing that. Is the property currently vacant or does someone live there? He says we live here. Perfect. Thanks. Just to get an idea, what's a ballpark number you consider fair? And he said 400,000. And then it'll just go be sent to the CRM. But like the crazy part is like we got this lead. We got in touch with it at 154. And it booked it at 2 p.m. Like it took it only 6 minutes. But just imagine, the only problem is that a lot of people that are doing like SMS or SMS blasts, you're blasting these messages and you're getting a ton of leads responding, but you're only one person. So you're not treating every lead as one. So if you were just blasting that person, like this response, you wouldn't have responded back in time. Like AI literally responded in 2 minutes. And it was able to book it in 6 minutes. Like that's the power of AI, and that's how I'm building leverage. And I'll give out even more game. Like I've met someone who has implemented AI voice for lead generation and follow-up, where anybody that calls in, AI voice is picking up and trying to book the appointment. I'm basically trying to implement as much as AI as I possibly can. You know, speaking with developers, you know, trying to hire people on Upwork, trying to just figure out like how I can automate wasted tasks and just free human time, like just free my human team for just focusing on the one main thing and closing deals. So that's basically the future, man. Like AI is progressing so fast and is getting so smart. I think they were telling me like the IQ, like AI's IQ is like close to like 1,000. I was like, holy shit. Like I don't know, that's actually something I would want to see. I don't know, bro. I don't believe this, bro. You can't tell me. Well, all I know is that, bro, the IQ of AI has to be like crazy. Like Google says like 150 or something, but I don't know, man. AI is crazy smart. You can't tell me Albert Einstein was smarter than AI. The AI is gonna progress so heavily, and if you're not using it now, like you're gonna be way behind. And that's just something I'm trying to implement. Another thing, and I feel like this is something like a lot of people don't really talk about, is having a VA do your KPIs, solely KPIs, like tracking your team's performance daily, right? Daily, weekly, monthly, but mostly just a dedicated VA handling KPI tracking and reporting. So you're talking about daily, weekly performance reports. You're basically getting like an instant feedback loop. Like if anything happens, you're able to see the bottlenecks right there in real time. So this is like an example of what we have. We have like a virtual assistant who only works like 2 hours a day. We only pay them like $30 a week, where they're able to track. They're literally tracking KPIs, and this is something I'm even doing now, like holding people accountable. They're basically checking like the amount of calls they did, the amount of web forms they submitted, the amount of leads they qualified. We're even doing like screencasts. So this VA was basically like watching YouTube during work, and we had to call him out that same day. We had to put him in his place, because it's like, bro, we're paying you and you're not even doing your job. It's like, not only are you able to see if like they're able to perform, but now that you have a dedicated VA to track your KPIs, you're basically able to also see why is it that they're not hitting their KPIs. And this is just like email reports that they give us, right? They're able to go in depth. Like you can literally find them in Upwork. You obviously may have to interview a few, but having like a VA just designated for KPIs has been a game changer for me. And I'm able to basically see like in real time, like where everyone is heading to and when our next deal is possibly going to happen. That's like something I would say like you really got to look into. Another thing that I'm actually doing is I'm restructuring my team and my hiring process. I'm basically cleaning out underperformers and hiring only hungry, skilled closers and acquisitions. And I'm expecting results within 2 weeks of onboarding. So one of the things that I realized is that I haven't really been, especially with virtual assistants, because that's personally what I do. Like I use virtual assistants from like the Philippines or Latin America. Sometimes you feel like they're not capable of doing certain things that maybe an in-house person is, right? But I just try to break that identity shift. Like I try to break the constraint of believing that I hire only A players now. And I'm continuously trying to look for just A players. There's top quality VAs overseas, and you may have to pay them a little bit more. They do way more work than someone you're going to be paying like 2Gs a month, on payroll and no commission or nothing like that. Like we have virtual assistants, like when I tell you not, like these virtual assistants are crazy good. Like we have virtual assistants who are locking up deals for us on autopilot. Like they're reviewing agreements with these sellers in New York. I have a VA who signed like 3 deals. Like they literally hopped on the phone, sent them the agreement via Sign Now, and reviewed the agreement and got them to sign. It was like, holy, it's crazy. And like here's like proof in the pudding. Like I blocked the address because they're still current deals, but like we have like VAs actually closing deals for us. And this is something that is a long time coming, because it's not something that I thought was possible until I started, giving them more opportunities to make commissions. They make commissions off the agreement signed, and we even pay them extra for when it closes and when we get it under contract. What I'm doing is I'm basically trying to hire only like skilled closers and people that are hungry. And another thing I'm actually doing is I'm just setting my standards so high, and I'm not letting them get away with anything. Like I'm at a point in my business where you're going to have to do $150 to $200 a day. You need to be making like 2 to 3 offers a day. And if you don't make it, what are they going to do to make up for that? You have to like basically figure out how can you help them perform and how can you help them win. And you got to get those standards up high. That's the only way to win. And not everybody is cut out for it. That's the thing. And you may have people that are in the team that may not be like that, but you need people like that. You need people that are hungry, that want to win. They have to win. They need to win. And when you have a team like that, that's when you're able to do deals. And that's how I'm able to do deals in the markets that are so competitive and so, quote unquote hard. It's because I've been able to create a good culture. And on top of that, I've been able to hire people that are really, really skilled and are like super, super valuable. And just the last thing, like what I'm doing to make 100 G's again, bro, is I'm shifting my strategy too. So I honestly feel like wholesaling is like, it's not like 2020, and I keep saying that, but like wholesaling isn't the same as it once was before. You're still gonna make deals. I mean, it's a numbers game at the end of the day as well, but I just feel like the best play for now, like shifting into 2026, is not just wholesaling, but understanding novations and knowing how to do them, and also realtor referrals. Actually building like a network of realtors or brokers who are down to help you, be down to give you at least like 1% of the deal. Because these realtors, like I realize like a lot of realtors, a lot of them don't really do outreach. They don't cold call. They don't run Facebook ads. They just kind of like sit down and just wait for the next deal to come to them. So if you're able to provide value to them where you can put a deal on the table, then you're able to negotiate like how much you would want. Going back to what I was saying before, like I'm literally making $8,500 this month off of a realtor referral. Like 2 deals that I referred them. Even though it may not be like a lot, but still, I'd rather make something than nothing. I feel like realtor referrals is like a secret hack that no one talks about. Novation, it's a massive edge if you know how to pitch it. I feel like novations still are going to be killing it. I see a lot of people doing novations. And timing wise, if you enter wholesale now, by mid-2026, you can layer in novations and realtor referrals. Damn, I mean, you can even start doing like flips as well. And I feel like that's what's going to get me back into, making 100, maybe more than 100 G's. As of last month, I mean, I made over 100,000, literally 41,000 in one deal, and then another like 117. I've been able to do it with just like the wholesale strategy, but I just feel like pushing forward, if you are able to add on all these tool belts, you can do so much more. And just imagine. So hopefully this helps somebody. And if you're trying to connect, you can hit me up on Instagram, and that's pretty much it. So peace, let's work, and let's continue making this money.